In this video, I'm going to show you how to add ground details to a scene in Blender. In my previous video, I glanced over the topic a little just by showing you time lapse of me adding ground detail and explaining a little about it. In this video, I want to go into depth by showing you step-by-step process of how to do it. And also you can use these techniques for not only to add ground details but also for interior designing, for adding details to the walls, adding details to the buildings, outer buildings, etc. etc. So first, let me show you step-by-step process of how to add ground details. I'm not going to show you how to add interior design, how to add details to the walls, inner walls, or how to add details to the outer building walls, because after uploading this video, I think from tomorrow, I'm going to start a series where I challenge myself to create a 2-minute cinematic video. In that series, I'm going to show you how to do interior decoration, how to add details to the plastered walls, painted walls, etc. etc. And also I'll be asking you guys for some suggestions because this is my first time doing cinematic sequences. If you are a beginner trying to make cinematic scenes in Blender, you can also learn from this series because I'm also a beginner and I'll be figuring out the process as I go. You can figure it out with me. If you want to join the journey, subscribe to the channel. I think I talked so much for the intro. Let me show you how to add ground details. In Blender, first I added 2 planes. This plane is for water, and for this plane I subdivided it a lot like this, and then I went to sculpting mode and I made it into this shape. Here I made a large groove so that when I add this plane it will be like a flowing river. First of all, for water I use this texture node. You can use this node setup. You want the same texture, water texture as mine. Let me go into render view so that I can show you how my water texture looks like. So this is how my water texture looks like. Let me show you from the camera view. This is water, and here all there will be trees, rocks and all that. So it will look good afterwards. And now coming to the ground details part. First step is take a texture or make a texture. I took this texture from Blender Kit. You can take any soil texture, rocky texture as your wish according to your environment scene. This is just a base layer. There is no need for the texture to be very detailed and all that. Just subdivide your plane, add some displacement. That's it. This texture will be covered by rocks, grass and all that. So there is no need to be very detailed with the texture. This is the first step. The first step is to choose a perfect texture according to your scene. Now for the second step, what you need to do is fill out your scene. For suppose, for this scene, I'm going for a forest look. Here all there should be trees, some grass, some rocks like that. Before going to details of the ground, what you need to do is map out your scene. Mapping out your scene means placing all the models or objects in the place roughly. For example, for me, there should be trees here. So I placed my trees. Here I am not keeping any trees because in camera view they will not be visible. If I place trees here, it will be waste of my graphic power. So I'm not spreading any trees here. Like that, if you are making any other scenes like a house, building, road, anything like that, first you need to do is place your object where you want them and finalize them, and based on that you can add details afterwards. Similarly, I placed trees here, and also I placed some small herbs, grass like this. After doing this, I'll add some details like rocks, tree branches scattered all over the place, because in forest there will not be just trees and grass. There will also some rocks, big rocks, stones, fallen branches and all that. Afterwards, we'll stack up the details on that so that it looks somewhat realistic. Now that I mapped out where my trees should be, now it's time to add for more detail. Let me first hide this grass. I'm just keeping these trees on so that I'll know where I should place my rocks and extra details. Now after mapping out objects where everything is set in place, now go to websites like CG Trader, Sketchfab, etc. etc. These are some of the extra websites I went through to get these rocks, these branches, etc. I downloaded these assets from there and I scattered like this as I'm showing the time lapse. I scattered them so that they are not colliding with the trees, and I'm making sure that they're all over the place, not just in one place. Just like that, we have scattered some rocks and some branches assets. Some of them are kept in water, some of them are placed on the soil like that. Spread everywhere, don't keep the assets at one place. And I suggest you to pick up these 3D scans. In many websites, there will be 3D scans of ground, leaves, etc. etc. As many as you can according to your scene. Pick up these 3D scans. These will look good for adding details to the ground. If you're also trying to add details to the walls, there will be some scans of peeling paint, etc. You can just add them to your textures here and connect them with mix color and mix them. All of those I'll show in upcoming series which I talked about in the intro of the video. If you want to see that, subscribe to the channel. I'll start the series from tomorrow. And for now, this is how it looks after adding rocks, these tree branches and all that. And also it is looking here blurry because I added depth of field to the camera. And now for the final part, it's time to add grass. And for grass, I use Gscatter add-on. If you don't know how to use it, if you don't know about it, you can just go to YouTube and search for videos. There are many videos explaining how to use this add-on. It is simple, just download the add-on from Google, import assets from Gscatter website and then use it here. I scatter the grass around here such that near the rocks, the grass is low and some places the grass is a huge amount. For grass, a simple trick is don't just use one type of grass. Mixing different type of flowers, different type of grass to this so that there is some variation. I'm not going to enable all these because if I enable all these, my Blender will crash and I cannot show you all that. All I'm saying is use different type of grass assets and mix them all together so that it looks somewhat realistic. Here also I spread some grass. I'm not enabling because if I enable too much of grass, then my Blender will crash. That is the third step. And lastly, I stole a mountain from Blender Kit and added backside to cover up the background. And also I added a cube, and for that cube, I added a fog texture. Let me also show you the fog texture. Volume scatter, color ramp node, noise texture, texture mapping coordinates. Simply these three nodes, that's all. You can use this node setup if you want. And for light, I'm not using any type of light. Just go into world. I'm just using sky texture, simple sky, Blender provided sky texture node. That's it. These are the settings I'm using on this node. And I think that's it. These are the renders I took from with fog and without fog. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. And subscribe to the channel. I'll be starting a new series from tomorrow. Hope you support me. Bye.